Hi, and welcome to our video on replacing the LCD screen in the Panasonic Toughbook CF-C1. First thing we're going to do is remove two screws that's in the front underneath these plastic tabs. I use a razor blade just to kind of snap them up. Once I've done that, we'll remove the two Phillips head screws that are holding down the cover plate or the front bezel plate. And I won't bore you here, we'll speed right through these screws so that you get the idea. There you go. Once the screws are removed, I'm going to loosen the front bezel cover from the screen. Now there are clips holding it to the back bezel, and there's some tape, double-sided tape around the rim of the screen holding it to the screen as well. So you have to first loosen up the bezel from around the screen, and I use a flathead screwdriver here just to kind of give myself a little edge in the removal process. You want to be careful not to break this front bezel. It's not extremely rigid and can easily break. You'll see on one side that this bezel has already been broken once. I don't have a replacement, so we'll be reusing this front bezel. And once we've done that, I'm going to start on the double-sided tape that's holding the front bezel to the screen. Again, got to be careful not to break that front bezel. But it does come off without too much trouble. And I even loosen up the bottom. There's still two more screws we have to remove that are on the underside of the screen itself on the edge. And you have to position it. You'll see the first screw is easy to get to right here. And once we have that screw removed, you have to kind of position the bottom of the laptop just right so you can squeeze your screwdriver in to get the second screw that's right there. Once you have that screw removed, we can now just pop the front bezel off the screen. Being careful not to break it again. Remember, it's fragile. Now there's a little ribbon cable that is running through the front bezel, or attached to that runs to the system board, so you won't be able to totally remove it. And that little ribbon cable is actually double-sided tape to the LCD screen, and you just got to carefully remove the ribbon cable from the back of the screen. And once you've done that, we'll unplug two cables. Here's the first cable. And it basically just pulls out of the slot. Be careful not to pull the wires out of the connector. The other connector is held down by some gray tape and easily removed. You're going to want to keep that tape so when you replace the screen, you can see it right there. I use a flathead screwdriver here just to kind of give me an edge to removing it. And I just save it for when I put the screen back on. And I remove the connector. Once you've done that, you can remove the LCD. Now, there's nothing wrong with this LCD, so I'm just going to reinstall it. But basically, we're just going to go in reverse order now. I'm going to put the screen in. I'm going to connect the cabling first. Making sure that I don't break anything. Carefully insert it into that. That connector is very small, so you have to be kind of careful. Squeeze it in real good and then put the tape back on there. I'm going to use the gray tape that I pulled off. And And then I'm going to put the plastic piece that was there, the tape. And then we'll put the small cable back onto the back of the LCD. This one here is a little finicky. If your fingers are fat like mine, you'll have a rough time with it. But it goes in. And now I'm going to position the LCD onto the bezel. Making sure I line it up, and I'm going to just squeeze back the double-sided tape that we loosened up when we removed the LCD. So you kind of got to line it up properly. And it has some little tabs on the side that you use to make it easier. Once you've done that, you can pop it back onto the back bezel. And now I'm just snapping it down. And I'm going to replace the 2 front screws first, making sure they're lined up. That's how simple it is. All that's left are the 2 screws on the front and the 2 screws that are on the bottom of the screen that we had to position that base properly to get at. So once we have the screws replaced, and again I have fat fingers, so those little screws are stubborn sometimes. Alright, so we replaced the screws, and now I'm going to just double checking, and now I'm going to put the little plastic covers back over them so that we have a nice looking front screen. And I'm going to line up by turning the screen, I'm going to line it up and replace the screws on the bottom. And that's really all there is to this repair. If it helped you out in any way, I hope you hit that like button right below the video. Or if you want to see a different video every day, we tend to post every day or so a new repair video. Subscribe to our channel and you'll get notified whenever we have a new video up. Alright, so once this screws in, and you just got to line that base up properly. That's really all there is to it. Again, subscribe to the channel and hit that thumbs up right below the video. Like this video. And once again, thank you for watching.